Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to walk you step by step through how to
install a new kitchen window.
Today we're going to walk you through step by step how to take an existing window and move it to accommodate a new kitchen sink footprint. Come on, it'll be fun. We'll walk you through step by step.
Let's look at it.
Come on. So we've got an existing window with stucco applications. So sometimes it's siding or a different type of material, metal. We want to take the window out and move it. Okay, so there's a couple components we have to deal with, addressing the stucco on the exterior, and then we also have to edit the framing on the inside, which is what we're going to walk you through step by step. So as you can see here, Ben's already started with a jackhammer. He's jackhammering the side. So he kind of went through and he started just punching some holes in the stucco, and then he's going to go through and he's going to leave like a jagged edge here. We're going to pull back this lath. This is called lath. Okay, so the stucco installers apply a waterproof paper, lath, and then the stucco itself, the cement. Okay, so we want to remove that, expose it, so that we can move our window over and set it up for the new framing. So Ben's going to show you exactly how to do that step by step. Aren't you, Ben?
Sure thing. Small jackhammer, guys.
Wait a minute. What are you wearing?
Oh, those are...
Where did you get those?
Those are actually new bags we got from the Perkins brothers. Thank you so much. I actually love those bags. They're light.
My gosh. Wait, did I get a pack or just you?
You did get a pack.
Oh, we have to go open them. Okay, so this is the Perkins brothers gave us these. So let's go in and see. I got a pack too. Let's go open them. And over here is my Perkins brother builders. Feels like Christmas. Wow. That's pretty cool.
I like that. That's cool. Those are to put your bits in it. You put the bits in it, so you never have to look for it.
It comes with all these individual components that we'll assemble together, and then eventually I'm going to end up looking like this handsome guy right here. Yeah, turn around and show everybody. Wow! Oh, it's got a pouch in the back. So that's kind of
Pouch in the back. I put my chalk line in it, and you know.
This is perfect.
It's actually a very comfortable set of bags. I love them.
It looks comfy.
Thanks again, Perkins Brothers.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to try these out today and let you guys know how they work with removing a window or taking a window out and moving it over. We'll let you know.
Going back to my demolition, guys.
Okay, Ben's going to go demo. Okay, so the next step, or one of the next steps in removing the old window, editing the framing, and allowing for the new window location is to address, as we always do, our existing conditions. Okay, so this is a remodel. A homeowner wants to put in a new kitchen. Okay, so we gutted the existing kitchen. This is where it was. You can see the plumbing. The sink was here. Okay, and it was centered over the window. The reason why we're moving the window a little bit is because the new kitchen design has this kitchen sink shifted a little bit. Okay, so we worked with our design team to come up with a perfect plan that the homeowners are going to work with. But as a result of that, we need to move the window over. Okay, so we're looking at our existing conditions. We took off the drywall and the ceiling. Okay, that's what all these can lights are now no longer being supported by. So we took off our drywall. We've got wiring exposed, and we can see that these floor joists, because there's a floor above us. Okay, second floor, are resting and landing on this wall, okay? So the wall with the window has weight on it, has load on it, okay? So you can simply just follow these floor joists back, right? They come all the way over, and then they land on the wall, okay? So a lot of times we get questions from YouTubers. They say, hey, how can you tell if a wall is load bearing or not by just taking a look at it? And what I like to do is I just like to follow the wood members that are adjacent to it and see what's one easy way is to see where they're landing. If they're landing on it, and this is an exterior wall, chances are it's load bearing. So you need to take precaution in removing wood members that are holding up a floor above it, okay? Couple other existing conditions that we have to address as we take our insulation away. We can see that there's plywood back here. Okay, this is on the exterior side of the wall framing. Okay, this is in California. We have what we call shear panel application. Okay, and shear panel is basically a way for us to help reinforce the house in the event that we had an earthquake. We get a lot of earthquakes out here. So by installing shear panel on the original framing, if the house was to move, we would get lateral support. Okay, so that's kind of the concept. So the shear panel is attached to the framing, which is essentially attached to the concrete. Okay, so concrete, framing, and then we've got a shear panel. So we don't want to address we don't want to edit the shear panel, okay, because its predetermined size or existence has already been accounted for structurally. So we don't want to edit that. All we're going to do is we're going to take this existing king stud, which is a window component, king stud. We're going to move it over up tight against this drain line. Okay, we don't want to mess with the drain line and relocate it. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to move the stud over to here, and then we'll be able to move all the other components over. First step in doing that, okay, is to support the wall above us. Okay, so we've got framing that we want to take out. Okay. But in order to do that, we have to temporarily support this wall. So if you catch one of our earlier videos, how to remove a load-bearing wall, we went through how to shore. It's the same process, okay? So I'm gonna add a top plate with studs underneath, and then from there, we'll fasten those, and then we'll be able to remove the wall framing and have no problem, okay? So let's start there. Okay, so when we're shoring walls, okay, we wanna accommodate or take into consideration whatever we're removing, which in this case is this window opening here, okay? Whatever's right above it, we want to shore up or support so that when we take out the window framing, that the wall framing or the floor framing above doesn't come down, okay? So in this case, it's kind of easy because we're only essentially affecting 1, 2, 3, 4 joists, right? The speed of the 4. You can see here, this joist right here, we don't need to be worried about that joist because we're not touching that side of the wall. That wall frame, we're not even touching it. So there's really no reason to like run the shoring wall all the way through. You can, just for added integrity and support, but it's not necessary. So in this case, I'm just gonna run a 2x4x8. I'm gonna stick it up against the existing framing, okay, nail it off real quick, and then just put in studs, a couple, 2 or 3, and then the wall will be ready to go. Yeah, there you go. Good? And I made, usually on these shoring walls, guys, I like to come out from the wall. 95 and an 8. So loud. Okay guys, so on those shoring walls, a couple things to keep in mind. We don't want the shoring wall to be too far off of the wall that we're removing, okay? So if you look behind us, there are all these joists. So these joists are landing here and they're stopping, right? So they're attached to this big beam here. We're not touching that. That's to remain in place, okay? So we don't want to put our shoring wall, the temporary wall, we don't want to put it too far back, right, in relation to where the other support side is, because then we'll have a lopsided condition, right? So we try to keep our shoring as close proximity to the wall section that we're removing as best as possible. Okay, it's not wise to take the shoring wall and put it too far back, because then you're still putting a lot of pressure on those existing floor joists. Okay, so we want to make sure that we get as close to our framing as possible, but still while allowing us to get in here and work. So I came off the wall 2 feet. Okay, so if you just look up, we came over 2 feet. I put our top plate on. I measured, okay, down to the concrete. I got a measurement 95 and an 1/8. I'm gonna cut 3 or 4 studs, 95 and an 1/8. I'm gonna put them in, and then we'll be able to take the window out, okay? Just want to get it kind of close. Doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, it's just temporary. So So I try to keep one, you know, within reason. I try to keep one stud or one support member under every joist. That way you're safe. You don't need to go too crazy with nailing. We really just need to kind of hold it in place. You don't have to put a ton of nails. Remember, it's just temporary. So one under every. Now I'll go through and plumb them. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now our shoring wall is in. Now the attempt is to carefully remove the window and start disassembling the framing, okay? So a couple things we need to pay attention to. First thing is we're gonna reuse the header, okay? We don't need to discard it. There's no reason to. It's in good shape. It's not damaged. So we're gonna carefully, disassemble it and reuse it. Same thing with the trimmer. You can see here. We got our existing trimmer here. No reason to relocate it as well, or to remove it as well. We're just gonna disassemble and shift it over. Mud sill, we'll take this mud sill off, okay, and accommodate a new one, but these cripples down at the bottom, these bottom cripples, we're gonna leave them. There's no reason to take them out, okay? All we're doing is we're shifting the window over, so it'll make sense as we start to unfold it. But for starters, we're gonna start taking apart the framing. We're gonna disassemble this, take these cripples off, get the window out, get this trimmer or the king stud loose, and be able to move it over, okay? In order to do that, we've got an existing plumbing situation here, and we don't have very much room. All right, so I'm gonna cut with a Sawzall, or a reciprocating saw. I'm gonna cut here, and I'm gonna cut here, and that'll allow me to remove all this plumbing components. So remember, it's gonna get redone anyway, because we're moving the sink, okay? So I'm not worried about keeping that intact. Our plumber will come back later and tie it all together. So you can see Ben's taking the window out.
I need a longer extension.
And he needs a longer extension.
You don't? No. To go in those holes.
Reciprocating saws are great for demo, precise demo, okay? Very useful tool when it comes to demolition. So the framing here, remember we're gonna reuse this header. Okay, so there's nails. If you look on the back side here, this is pretty standard framing. Okay, so when they built the house, they usually do 6 nails from the king stud, which is what this is, into the header. I want to remove that connection there. Okay, so I'm going to take the Sawzall or the reciprocating saw and eliminate that connection. As you're using the reciprocating saw, you can feel the resistance of the nail once it hits it. Reciprocating saw will do the work and then it'll free it up. You can feel your way working down. So that's how you kind of know if you've got the nail or not. So now you can see the window's gone. We kept our existing king stud framing. He's not going to change. He's going to stay there. Here's our king stud that that was originally attached to this header. We're just going to reposition him, move him over. The next step will be to remove the header. In order to do that, okay, it's loose you can see it's loose here, but it's still attached to our top cripples. So I'm going to take the Sawzall, I'm going to cut those off, and then the header will be loose. Okay.
Okay guys, this is the existing header. We are going to save it. It's in good condition. And I'm going to clean it up, remove the nails, remove the chicken wire. And then we're going to reuse it.
Remember, we're going to reuse the header. So there's no reason to change the shape. We're just shifting, okay? So I wrote down the dimensions, 62 and 3/16. There's some framing I got to get out of the way. I'm going to get this out of the way, run a new trimmer up, okay? And then over here, guys, right where Ben is. Ben's gonna go through and take off, there's nails that run basically from this plywood. There's 3/8 plywood on the outside of the wall that are attached to our king stud that we need to move over. Okay, so in order to move the king stud over, we have to take out the nails. So Ben's gonna go through and take these nails out all the way up so we can move it over, okay? The next little step here is, you can see I took the top cripples out, and the nails are left over. I need to take those nails out because I'm gonna run the new header up. So I'm just gonna take a grinder with a metal blade and grind these off. Okay guys, so what we've done now is we've disassembled everything. We took our plumbing out, right? Remember, a little recap. And we've actually moved our trimmer or our king stud over. Remember, keeping in mind we're gonna reuse everything. So the plumber will just be able to fish everything back in. We only moved it a couple inches, 3 inches, so it's okay. Fastened everything back up. We're nailed at the top, okay? Nailed at the bottom. The next step is to install our header, okay? So the header that we took out, we're gonna put back in now. Since we moved everything over, we have to add what we call a new king stud on the left side of where the window is gonna go. So we have our king stud here, okay? And then we take the existing header, measure over, okay? And then we add another king stud, okay? So we're gonna do that right now. All right, so this is the old header, guys. We're gonna just reuse it now. Set it aside. I'm gonna measure it, and I'm gonna install my new king stud, okay? So 62, we'll call it 62 and a quarter, all right? 62 and a quarter is the mark that I want to make on the concrete here. 92 and a quarter. Mike, can I need one? All right, so we've got our new king stud, okay, or our new king stud that we're gonna use. Now, I crowned it so that the natural crown in the lumber is gonna be facing outside, okay? So in previous videos past, we've talked about crowning lumber. You sight down it, okay? And then it has a natural curve in it, okay? We want that curve to be facing the outside in this case, okay? A couple things we need to pay attention to. We've got existing stucco here, okay? Which is not a big problem. But when they stucco this, the previous stucco, if we try to put a new 2x full dimension in without accommodating for the bumps in the stucco itself, we're gonna be sticking out past our plate here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rip down just a little bit, like 1/4 of an inch off the back side to allow the new stud to conform to the bumps in the stucco and then flush out with our plate. So basically I measured up from the sill, it's about 32 inches, roughly, 30 inches we'll call it. I'm gonna come up from the bottom, 30 inches. And again, this is the outside. I'm just gonna mark maybe 1/4 of an inch. All right, that's all we'll need. And I'll rip that out. You can see what I did. Look at it from the side here. It kind of took out 1/4 of an inch, plus or minus. Okay, now put that in. Should allow us to sit in the stud. So now you can see, I'm gonna run the stud in, and it should allow us to sit tight against the stucco. See how I'm even with my plate here? And it allows clearance to make sure that if I didn't take that 1/4 inch out, we'd be fighting the stucco. Okay, so that's the whole idea. I'm ready to nail off. Now we're going to take this header in and put it in place. Right?
In place!
All All right, so now we've got our header in, guys. You can see it's all the way up tight against our plates, okay? So part of the window reframing was to not only just move it over, but we wanted to raise it up a little bit to accommodate for our new countertop height, okay? So we raised our window up, okay? We'll fine tune that in a minute. But for now, we need to add another bottom cripple here to accommodate for our bottom sill, okay? So Ben's gonna cut me a bottom cripple, 31 and 5/8. 31 and 5/8. My brother footed. So we're gonna nail this off. Okay. Now we've got something to nail our sill to, right? Ben's gonna cut me some 2x. 61. Two of them. Our first bottom sill. Okay, we're gonna nail this off. All right. Remember, we just kind of kept all the existing cripples, so we don't have any issues there. Okay, so I've got my trimmer in now. This is what we call a floater trimmer. Okay, so I measured over. I know exactly where it goes. I slap it up against my king stud. I'm gonna nail it off, and we should be good to go. As you can see here, we got our existing king and our header. Okay, so by eliminating a floating trimmer, which is structurally sound, we're gonna add what you call a header hanger. Okay, these are made from Simpson. Simpson Strong Tie makes these. But it allows us to not have to have a trimmer in, okay? So it kind of slips up under the header, okay? And attaches to the king stud itself. If you're limited on space, these are really, really good to use. So header hangers, they're called. Very strong. So now that we've got our header hanger in, you can see on the one side, guys, and we've got our floating trimmer in on this side, there's absolutely no reason why we need the shoring wall anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna disassemble it, get it out of the way so that we can actually work around a little bit easier, and we should be good to go. Now the finishing touches on our window edits to accommodate for the new size window, okay? So we went over, we went up, and now we need to raise our sill. We're back to structural integrity. Now we need to raise it up a little bit, okay? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm adding little bottom cripples, okay? It's a little furring application. So I'll add these and then one more sill, and then we should be good, okay? So I like to push down on these blocks so they don't move too much, and kind of cinch them in place. Push down. I've already transferred my marks onto my new sill. Okay, so I basically just transferred everything over. Just gotta follow the marks now. Should be good. So now that we've got our bottom sill, you can see it's been raised up to our new window height, okay? Now we just need to add one 2x4 to the head, okay? Because we ran the header all the way up against the plates. We need to fine tune it to accommodate our new window size, which is requiring us to add 1.5 inches to the bottom of this header. So I took my measurement, I'm gonna go cut it, and we'll put it. got our fur down 2x here. Our header is ready to go. Last thing we need to do is nail off the shear panel, okay? And then saw cut this plywood out of the way, and we're ready to go. That's it. We removed the window, we moved it over, we edited the framing, and we got it all ready for our new window application. All in all, great day. We'll walk you through the step-by-steps. Remember when we first started, we were demoing the window. We had the existing stucco around the exterior of the window. The goal was to get the window out and exposed. Ben was working on that. So then we installed our shoring wall, and we temporarily removed our existing structural header, okay? We moved our king stud over. We added a king stud to the one side. We got our window perfectly square and ready to go. We put all our new framing back, installed our new header. We introduced a header hanger, which is that metal application to free up some space. We nailed everything back off, made sure everything was ready to go, cleaned up, and that was it.
That's it.
And we did so while enjoying the comfort of our new Perkins Brothers bags. All in all, a really good day. Yeah, I would say so. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you guys liked this video, let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.
À bientôt.
A bientôt. Does that mean, what does that mean, goodbye in French?
See you soon.
Ah, in French? A bientôt.
À bientôt.